Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of Answer the Bell. It's Super Bowl weekend, the championship being played this Sunday. The Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. You go to my far right, our number one guest, Jesse Allen, and this man in the middle certainly needs no introduction to Pascagoula Panther fans, Mississippi State Bulldog fans, and Indianapolis Colts fans for that matter. One certainly appreciate you coming by today. The first ever professional athlete for us to have on the set here of Answer the Bell. And Vic, we appreciate you coming by. We're going to take a little bit of different format here on Answer the Bell. Usually we're barbing back and forth and shooting a few ideas and thoughts out there, but we're going to focus on Vic here in the first half since he's here. Vic, the off season is upon us, time to recoup any bumps and bruises you had along the way, but let's go all the way back several years ago. I know it probably doesn't seem that long ago to you, but Friday nights under the lights at War Memorial Stadium, an absolute stud for the Pascagoula Panthers. How was it playing football for Pascagoula, knowing that you were heading to the next level?
It was fun, but I mean, I wouldn't even say I knew I was heading to the next level. I was just, playing just because I like to play, and just so happened I played good enough to where I got the shot to play at the next level.
Certainly one of the great running backs in Pascagoula history, no doubt about that. Winds up going to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College, having a stellar career there at the two-year school, and next thing you know, you're playing in the SEC and Mississippi State Bulldogs, and again, more opportunity to shine and show your skills there at the collegiate level. And you got to think back. Not overly highly recruited over Pascagoula, much to the surprise of all the Panther fans that saw you on Friday night. So did you use that as motivation through Perk and Mississippi State to show some of these people what they missed out on?
Yeah, definitely, because throughout my whole playing career, me playing football, I've been kind of overlooked. And, I think it's kind of been, it kind of helped me, because it keeps me humble and keeps me working hard. Keeps
you working hard to prove those pundits wrong who may have missed out on a great player. Jesse?
I mean, I remember looking back, I've been around Vick for a long time. His little brother went to school with him, Eric Hollis, and all that group, Muff and Cal, that all played together. I've watched these guys grow up and seen him play on Sundays. It's an honor to watch you play, and I like the way you represent yourself and you keep yourself out of trouble. That's first and foremost something I've always looked forward to in an athlete. But it's like we were talking earlier, I remember looking back when you got invited to the Mississippi High School Alabama All-Star game, and you go over there and bust your butt for the whole week and do good from what we saw and everybody was telling us, and then we go over there and get ready to watch you play, and you got 2 or 3 plays on special teams.
Yeah.
And we're all sitting there trying to figure out, what are these guys not seeing that we're not seeing? Because honestly, coming out of Pascagoula, I couldn't believe Southern Miss didn't offer you right then. Like, we really thought you were going to be a Golden Eagle, and that was where you were going to be.
Yeah, I was talking to Southern Miss a whole lot with the, that's the year that Bowers got, fired. I was talking to the old staff and the new staff, but they never pulled the trigger on me, and that's the same way for a whole bunch of schools. Well, all the schools that recruited me.
Yeah.
But man, it all worked out in my favor. I wouldn't, if I had to go back, I wouldn't change it.
Well, then that's something that I've preached to the kids, and hopefully you do too. Is a lot of kids see JUCO as, well, it's junior college. No, it's not junior college. It's 2 years to get your grades under your belt, to get adapted to the college lifestyle first and foremost. But you're out there on the field practicing, and you're busting your butt. You're getting better. And then you open the door to every other school in the whole country. And that's where Mississippi State comes in. I was begging LSU to get you. I was hoping, get out, we could get you.
Yeah.
But, when you went to state, we got to watch you out there. And, you never got all the carries. You split carries. But when you finally went out, I'll never forget it as long as I was as much. I mean, I don't know you like a great friend or anything like that, but I know your personality. The Florida game.
Yeah.
When you came out and told them you were going to get 100, and I was like, man, somebody has lit a fire under Vick, and then you went out and lit Florida up, and that's when I was like, he's on the map. People better get ready because it's coming.
Yeah, that was one of the games. We threw the ball like 7 times that game.
Yeah.
So we ran the ball the whole game. They knew the run was coming, but
and couldn't stop you.
Yeah, I mean, the O-line did a great job, and I was just putting the ball where it's supposed to go. And
What made you come out that day, that one specific, to say that? Because that's the only time I've ever heard you really give some bulletin board material. But there was something about that day that you knew was fixing to happen.
well, the game was just hyped up. You know, people talk about going down and playing in the swamp, and you know, just all this, you know, rah-rah. You know, that was Coach Mullen first time going back and playing his, you know, his old school, and you know, just a lot of emotion and things going into the game, and you know, I was just feeling confident.
So Vic, let's fast forward now. You've got your rookie season under your belt at the Indianapolis Colts. Talk to a couple of has-beens, if you will, here. Every kid grows up dreaming, I'm going to play in the major leagues, I'm going to play in the NBA, I'm going to play in the NFL. What is it like when you get that phone call and say, Vic, we want you to come play for us? In this particular case, it came from the Indianapolis Colts.
It was a big stress reliever because, you know, sitting down and watching all those rounds go by, you be like, man, you know, is this really for me? And then when you actually get the call, it's like a big weight that's being lifted off your shoulders because, and especially in my situation where I've been kind of overlooked throughout my whole career, and to finally get the call that I've been waiting on really for every year I done played football, you know, it was just kind of surreal.
Well, I've got to tell you, I know we were talking before we went on the air about some other teams that you were possibly looking at who thought had shown some interest in you or whatnot, but I'll honestly tell you, when I heard that you went in the 5th round, if I'm not mistaken, to the Indianapolis Colts, I said to myself, that is the absolute perfect match for Vic. Here's a team coming in. The running game is not off the chart great at this point. They're bringing in a running back. They had drafted Andrew Luck with the #1 overall pick. Now, I personally thought that was just an absolute perfect fit for you.
Yeah, just like you say, you know, the running game wasn't all that great. They had just let go the running back that was there previously, and I kind of saw it, you know, as an open door, you know, as opportunity. And you know, I came in and worked hard, and some things happened to it, kind of bumped me up the depth chart, and I just took advantage of my opportunities.
Working hard has certainly been no stranger to the work ethic of Vick Ballard. As you mentioned, worked hard your whole life, Pascagoula High, Perk, Mississippi State, and now in NFL. Tell us to somebody, to our viewing audience who are just common folk, if you will, never have the opportunity to play professional sports for a living. What's something that might surprise somebody? So maybe one of the good things about playing in the NFL, and then one of the things that aren't as glamorous as the general public might think?
I start with the bad first. The bad is, you know, for some people, you never know your destiny. You can be there one day, and the next day you're gone. It's, you know, it's a lot of anxiety, and you know, it's very stressful. It's a very stressful business because it's cutthroat. You know, it's, I mean, they want what they want, and they don't want what they don't want. So, I mean, you just never know. And the good thing is, you know, obviously it's lucrative. You know, you get a good salary, and you just, you know, you get to play with a lot of great players. Especially on my team, we got Robert Mathis, Dwight Freeney, and Reggie Wayne. You know, them names I've been hearing since I was, you know, middle school, Pee-wee, you know, and now to be on the same team with them, it's crazy.
Now, what about a little rookie hazing that we always hear about? Did you go through any of that?
Yeah, man. At first, Robert Mathis, he used to make me buy him body wash and things like that. And as the season went on, Dwight Freeney made me start carrying his luggage on the plane and in the hotel. But that's really it. I never had to do anything serious.
You're looking forward to a little payback to the rookies next year, maybe, on some of these situations.
You know, I might go a little above and beyond, but.
And just like you said, with Freeney coming in late in the season, do you see that as more of he saw you as a bigger part of the team, and he wanted to actually bring you in, and not be, you know, mean about it, but just kind of give you a
It's almost like you're accepted now.
You know, now you're in because you're in with the guys, not just the second string middle linebacker or somebody giving you heck. It's you know, those guys.
Yeah, it definitely, you know, kind of made them, you know, it opened their eyes to me a little bit, especially, well, I should say after that play that I made in Tennessee. Yeah. But because in the beginning, a couple players admitted that they didn't even know my name because I was just, you know, a rookie running back playing special teams. Yeah. But as the season went on, you know, my role kind of increased, and I started making plays and, you know, helping the team. And that's when some of the older guys kind of, you know, paid a little more attention to me. I didn't mind because I was just happy they figured out my name.
Now, you mentioned the touchdown at Tennessee, and we'd be remiss if we didn't bring this up. If you don't know what Vick's talking about, you owe it to yourself. Go on YouTube. Vick Ballard diving touchdown or something to that effect. Literally upside down, backwards, parallel to the ground, full extension. Many people are calling it the play of the year, if not the play of the decade in NFL. Certainly it's reactionary at that point. You don't realize oh, I'm getting to the 5-yard line, I'm going to dive. But walk us through that play, if you can, and how that came to pass.
It was a broken play from the beginning because Reggie Wayne and some of the other receivers, they supposed to, block. They supposed to block the certain person, but they didn't block him. So I mean, if we faked it one way, Luck rolled one way. He had another option to throw it front side, but I guess he didn't see it, so he threw it back to me, and it was a defender. He could have knocked the ball down, but just so happy he didn't knock it down, and I caught it and took off running, and I saw that I wasn't gonna be able to make it to the end zone, and it was one guy running behind me. He missed the tackle. Then there was another guy coming directly at me, and that's when I knew I wasn't getting nowhere, so something just told me to dive, and when I jumped, he kind of grazed me a little bit, and that's what turned me, all the way over, and another guy came from the end zone and then, hit me down, and I didn't even know that I had scored. I just hopped up and put my hands up like it was a touchdown. I saw the referee put his hands up too, so.
Dang.
If I'm not mistaken, that was in overtime too, right?
Yeah, it was
to win the game.
Yeah, we took the ball in overtime and took it down the field and scored.
It reminds me of the old scene from the movie Top Gun, because I was inverted. Literally, you owe it to yourself to go see that. Speaking with Vick Ballard. Vick, I don't know if you're going to be able to stick around for the second half of the show or not, but we certainly appreciate Pascagoula's own Vick Ballard of the Indianapolis Colts coming by here on the set of Answer the Bell. Stick around, we'll be right back.
City Shoe Shop and Economy Boots is the place to go for your work boots, hats, and belts.
You tell them, boss, they got top-of-the-line brand names like Tony Lama, Timberland, Mossy Oak, and John Deere.
They do. They got biker leather and accessories, fire-resistant clothing, belt buckles, you name it, they got it.
They can even fix your shoes, too, can't they, boss, can't they?
They've been doing it all for over 60 years at City Shoe Shop on Hospital Road in Pascagoula and Economy Boots on Highway 90 in Goshen.
We're your authorized Red Wing dealer and your work boot headquarters.
Clean All Cleaners in Moss Point, Mississippi can help with all of your dry cleaning needs, including comforters, quilts, curtains, and drapes. Clean All Cleaners also offers alterations, as well as wash, dry, and fold service. Want to learn how to treat stubborn stains? Stop by Clean All Cleaners, purchase stain removers, and let the staff educate you on dry cleaning services. Monday through Fridays, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturdays, 8:30 to 2. That's Clean All Cleaners, conveniently located on Main Street in Moss Point.
Let's Get Fit, Mississippi, the Gulf Coast's newest and finest workout destination. Bodywork Gym located in Goshen's Singing River Mall. 24/7 controlled access and security is just one of the many features that makes this the safest place to lose those pounds and enjoy a healthier lifestyle. Come see us for a tour. With 7 clean showers and restrooms available, it is the premier workout facility in Goshen. Indoor cycling, Zumba, aerobic classes, weight loss, and group training are just a few reasons to visit. Check us out at our website listed on your screen. Bodywork Gym in the Singing River Mall, Goshen. Let's Get Fit, Mississippi.
Second segment of Answer the Bell, and if you missed the first segment, shame on you. We had NFL star and Pascagoula Panther former standout Vick Ballard here with us. And again, Vick, thanks for coming out and spending a little time with us on Answer the Bell. Second half of the show, Jesse, the Super Bowl is upon us, and it's the San Francisco 49ers and the Baltimore Ravens right down the street in the Mercedes-Benz Super Bowl in New Orleans. We're going to break down the game a little bit with our limited knowledge, each aspect of the game, and see who we feel like has the advantage there. Let's start with the special teams, and we'll build towards a crescendo in the offenses and that. But the special teams, who give you the advantage on that?
You have Ginn returning punts and kicks now, and they don't, because Kyle Williams isn't anymore. I like San Francisco's special teams, but I can't remember the guy's name. Jacoby Jones that they cut from Houston. He has been lighting it up on returns right now, and I think the special teams edge has to go to Baltimore. Just over the last 3 playoff games, his return yardage has been off the charts, numbers-wise.
I also will give the special teams advantage to Baltimore just a little bit, but more because of the kicking game. Now, David Akers has been on the hot seat for several weeks with San Francisco. I don't know that the official roster has been released yet.
He's out.
So he's out. Okay.
Yeah, they cut him, and once they cut him, they couldn't put him back on for the playoffs. I don't know the rules behind it, but I did read that.
But even still, I will give the advantage on special teams to Baltimore, like you. Now let's talk about Ray Lewis is the big story in the Super Bowl. So let's go to the defensive side of the football. Who do you give the advantage there?
This is going to be a tough one. I mean, you got two great defensive lines. You got two, great middle linebackers. I think Baltimore's overall linebacking core is better. The secondary of Baltimore is good, but they got a weak corner on the right side. San Francisco's corners, they can cover. I think overall, defense, I'm going to have to go with Baltimore, and it's not because of the big names. It's because of the Bernard Pollard. Bernard Pollard will knock your head off, and he will hit you hard. He creates fumbles all the time. They got Haloti Ngata, big boy from Alabama, Terrence Cody. And then this new guy that emerged last week, the new J.J. Watt, the pass swatter, the defensive lineman, Jerome Williams. I mean, they're coming on strong. I'm going with Baltimore.
Well, I'm actually going to go the other way on this one. I'm going to take San Francisco, and San Francisco certainly had a great season defensively. All the big names, superstars are there, not the least of which is one Patrick Willis from Ole Miss. But I think that I'm giving the advantage to the defense of San Francisco based on the offense that they had to face and the offense that Baltimore has to face in one Colin Kaepernick, which we'll talk about in a moment. But just slightly, I give the defensive advantage to the San Francisco 49ers. Let's now go over to the offensive side. Now let's go overall offense, and then we'll come back to rushing and quarterback. But overall offense, who do you give the advantage?
Overall offense, I'm going to say Baltimore. And I'll touch on more reasons why here soon with the other parts of it. But I like the move they made with the offensive line, moving Michael Orr to right tackle and moving Bryant McKinney to left tackle. They've been blocking well. The line has played really tremendous for them, and I like the beef that they have up front, and I like their receiver core. Torrey Smith.
And Bolden.
And finally Bolden come on. I mean, this dude's been a fantasy nightmare for years. He don't catch touchdowns, and he drops them all the time. But last weekend, I guess he just decided he wanted to show up. But that guy, when that guy wants to play, he's uncoverable.
Now I'm going to, again,
Pitta is the key of
Pitta at tight end is certainly a big asset for Baltimore. But again, I'm going to go to the other side of the football. I think the running game for San Francisco and the big uglies up front. Jesse, it's interesting that you went to the offensive line of Baltimore, and that was a great move, moving Orr to the other side of the line. But I think the big uglies up front for San Francisco control the line of scrimmage, and I give the overall offensive production to San Francisco.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Have you seen the size of these beasts that they're trying to block on the defensive line of Baltimore?
Everybody's huge. The San Francisco offensive line, in my opinion, is going to get it done.
They got two
up front.
At defensive tackle.
Okay, real quickly, we got to move through these rushing the football. San Francisco or Baltimore?
Oh, San Francisco, no doubt.
I like San Francisco there as well, and certainly Ray Rice is a great back for the Baltimore Ravens, but it's basically a one-man offense when it comes to rushing in Baltimore. I think the triple-headed, if you will, San Francisco, because not only do you have the quarterback Kaepernick, but you've got the thunder and lightning of the kid from Oregon, whose name escapes me right now, and Frank Gore, who's an absolute beast in the offensive backfield.
And you got Anthony Dixon from Mississippi State.
And Anthony Dixon as well. Yeah, so I give it to San Francisco. Quarterback play, Baltimore versus San Francisco, Kaepernick or Joe Flacco?
All right, this is where I go back to what I was saying. Flacco's in a contract year. Flacco's trying to get paid. Flacco's the most underrated quarterback in the NFL. Kaepernick, he's got 2 weeks to figure him out with Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and all them. I love Colin Kaepernick. He's one of my favorite players. I loved him at Nevada. I'm going to have to give the edge to Flacco, though, because he is throwing the ball so well right now, and he has more weapons. But if Kaepernick gets loose running, he has a cannon, too. The key to the game is going to be the tight ends, though. The two for San Francisco, Delaney Walker and Vernon Davis, and then Pitta and Dixon. Because that's where the holes are going to be in these two defenses.
I think by that much, as our colleague Lee Corso says, that much I'm going to give it to Joe Flacco as well. He's on target during these playoffs, and you look back over the past couple of seasons with Baltimore. When they've lost in the playoffs, it has not been Joe Flacco's fault. He's played well in the postseason. He's had drop passes, as you mentioned a moment ago. Kaepernick, the third fewest starts to ever come into a Super Bowl in NFL history. I think a lot of that comes into play, but just by that much, I think they basically cancel each other out, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
But by that much, I'll give Flacco the advantage. Now, here's the interesting one to me. The story we've been hearing all of last week, and we're going to hear it ad nauseum leading into this Super Bowl. Coaches. The brothers Harbaugh, head coach for each team. Who do you give the advantage?
There's no advantage. I think it's a wash here. They're cut from the same mold. They're both Bo Schembechler guys. It's going to be a battle up front, and it's just going to be a hard-nosed football game. And I couldn't go lean one way or the other.
I think this is also flip a coin. Now, Jim Harbaugh at San Francisco has gotten so much praise for benching Alex Smith and bringing in Kaepernick mid-season, excuse me. But let's not overlook the move that the Baltimore Ravens have made, and their head coach, John Harbaugh, fires his offensive coordinator with some 5 games to go in the season, and since that point, Baltimore has been a, relatively speaking, offensive juggernaut. So both of these teams have made crucial mid-season changes that have both worked positively for both of those teams.
I agree, but I think John Harbaugh's move was a lot tougher than Jim's because
Jim had something to fall back on if his experiment did not work.
And Cam Cameron should have been fired 2 years ago. If Ray Rice don't touch the ball 25 times a game, you should be fired as an offensive coordinator. That guy's a workhorse. He's a stud. I don't care if it's catching passes or running the ball. He has to touch it more than 6 times in the first quarter and 4 times in the second half. It just can't happen.
Well, just imagine the pride in the bleachers of the patriarch and the matriarch of the Harbaugh clan, mother and father Harbaugh, to see their 2 sons on either side of the sideline coaching in the Super Bowl. So now
they set up who to cheer for. Does mom get one and dad get the other?
I'm not gonna go there. Maybe they'll split at halftime. So let's go. We've touched on various aspects of the game. Now the big decision: who will hoist the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the game?
I think at the end of the game, it's going to be a close one. I think Baltimore comes out on top, just because of the simple fact. They're playing for Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is going. The only way that Ray Lewis don't have the game of his life is if he has a heart attack in the pregame, getting so excited that he passes out on the 50 and they don't get
doing the squirrel dance or whatever they call it. So, you know, I'm going to go the opposite direction here. Ray Lewis, final season. It's a great story. They thought it was done. His season was over. He comes back, has played in the postseason. Now, the game at Denver, he had a really good game. Last week, not so much a factor, in my opinion. Be interesting to see what kind of game he has Sunday. But in my opinion, it's a Cinderella story. And even in the real story, Cinderella, the clock struck midnight at some point. That story is going to end with the Super Bowl, and the San Francisco 49ers will be the champions for this year.
I mean, you can't argue one way or the other. I think this will be one of the more entertaining Super Bowls we've had in a long time.
Hopefully, with no team alliance for myself, and I don't think either with you. I'm just hoping for a good game, and I think it will be in the Superdome. Again, the 49ers and the Ravens in the Super Bowl this Sunday. On the other side of the break, our knockout punches.
Attention Gulf Coast. Worldwide Labor Support is now hiring shipyard craftsmen for the following positions: Shipfitters, Structural Welders, Pipefitters, and Pipe Welders. If you're seeking long-term work with great pay and you're willing to travel, then call the number on the screen at 1-800-748-1395. That's 1-800-748-1395. Or apply in person at Worldwide Labor Support, 1416 Ingalls Avenue in Pascagoula. Visit Facebook and Twitter for more details.
When you need a loan, you want a strong bank with a close connection to the Pascagoula community. That bank is Community Bank. So just tell Chris Tillman what you have on your mind. You do the talking, we'll do the listening. Consumer loans, business loans.
At Community Bank, we pride ourselves on listening and offering loan solutions with timely answers.
If your loan needs a push, talk to the people with some pull. Community Bank, like no other bank you know.
Final segment of Answer the Bell. You've heard our Super Bowl predictions. Jesse's going with Baltimore. I have chosen San Francisco, so we'll see who turns out right in that challenge. But for now, knockout punches. Jesse Allen.
Mine's not going to be so much a knockout punch. It's kind of a three-part deal. First and foremost, I want to send out good luck to my little brother who starts his collegiate career at Point Loma in San Diego on Thursday. I wish I could be there to watch you, bud. I hope you're out there enjoying it, and I hope you do well. Keep working hard. The second part of this shows what team camaraderie can do and what team camaraderie can't do for a team. Baltimore had so many distractions coming into this season. Terrell Suggs tears his ACL or his Achilles playing basketball and then denies it. It doesn't matter how he tore it. And then the guy found a way to be a freak and come back before the end of the season, and he's on the field. Ray Lewis tears a tricep that should have been over. The guy's out there balling just like he always has. Flacco with the controversy of needing to sign his contract, and they kept waiting and waiting. Well, they've waited too long now. He's fixing to make $100 million. But inside that locker room, Ray Lewis is a team leader, and he took these guys aside, and he brought them all in together, and they bought into the team philosophy, even all the way up to, and I can't think of the guy's name, or he's some kind of special advisor or something. He gave the presentation of the trophy last week. He can't talk. He has Lou Gehrig's disease, but they play for him. They play for Art Modell. There's just so much they came together on. Now, on the other side of the coin, you go to San Francisco. It could have all fell apart when Alex Smith got hurt and then didn't get his job back. But Alex Smith didn't pout. I've never been a big Alex Smith fan. I'm a huge Alex Smith fan now. The guy has never pouted. He's worked with Kaepernick. Even Harbaugh said, I don't coach him anymore. Alex Smith does. Well, guess what, guys? Alex Smith will get another shot next year, and there's a little team called Philadelphia who needs a running quarterback that can throw, and I think Chip Kelly might be making that phone call, and they don't want to see him in San Francisco when he comes back. So I'm not knocking anybody out. I'm just saying you keep your clubhouse right. Everybody's a team. This is the kind of stuff you end up playing for. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, good stuff, Jesse. And isn't it interesting that with all the high-dollar offense, all the coaches coming in this year, all offensive guys, offensive head coaches, instilling offense. Look at the two teams that are playing for the Super Bowl Sunday, predominantly defensive-minded football teams. So good stuff, Jesse. I'm going to the league offices of MFL. Let's get this done. The Super Bowl on Sunday has gotten out of hand. When we were young men, especially me, the Super Bowl would be basically a normal time frame, about a 1 o'clock kickoff. Then it goes to mid-afternoon. Now it's way into the evening, and with the extended commercials and extended halftime show and all this, you're looking 10, 11 o'clock at night before the game is ever over. You've got a week in between where the All-Star game, the Pro Bowl, which nobody cares about anyway, get rid of that. That's a whole nother story. But the All-Star Pro Bowl game elongates the season. You've got 2 weeks before the last playoff game and the Super Bowl. So moving the game in by 1 day to Saturday and play the Super Bowl on Saturday is what the league should be doing. Takes care of the long hours, takes care of a lot of travel plans for folks that are going to the Super Bowl, takes care of everybody at their Super Bowl parties. You don't have to go to work the next day. The kids can stay up and watch it. Let's get this done. There is no reason why the Super Bowl can't be moved to Saturday, and that is my annual knockout punch here on Super Bowl week on Answer the Bell every single week. I say let's move it to Saturday. This year, no exception. So, Jesse, thanks as always for stepping in and doing a great job as you always do. And again, thanks to Vick Ballard of Pascagoula High School fame and now with the Indianapolis Colts. Thanks to Vick Ballard for stopping by. We certainly appreciate him and the way he's representing Pascagoula on the MFL level. We'll see you next week.
Attention Gulf Coast. Worldwide Labor Support is now hiring shipyard craftsmen for the following positions: shipfitters, structural welders, pipe fitters, and pipe welders. If you're seeking long-term work with great pay and you're willing to travel, then call the number on the screen at 1-800-748-1395. That's 1-800-748-1395. Or apply in person at Worldwide Labor Support, 1416 Ingalls Avenue in Pascagoula. Visit Facebook and Twitter for more details.